Welcome to 10 Intentional Minutes with Janine. Let's dive into intentional living right now.
I launched our Instagram page, and within a week, one of our reels have reached 850,000 views. And we haven't spent a cent on it. It's just looking around at seeing what can we show the market that we are now trying to improve on our end, because we've been doing it for a while. But now to show the market that we are active and trying to change the way our product is perceived. So some small changes on our end and how I view my product has definitely helped a lot. And just from that, I actually got a new customer signed up this morning. So I left Joburg at 5:30 this morning to Nelspruit to come see some clients and some prospects out on this side. And while I was out, my office sent me a notification that a local client submitted a request for a load, 846,000 views. I'll put it on the group.
Marketing Cosmetics is the answer for your brand, sales, and marketing. Learn it, build it, and launch it in 3 months, starting this February. Have your full marketing strategy done in 12 sessions with expert help at every step. So today was about how do we bring all the things together, our socials plus our email, how do we bring that together to create a strategy? So I want you to grab your pen so that you can write, because this is going to be your strategy for 2026 on how to make it easier for you guys per stats. This is what the data is showing us on what we're going to do for next year. So let's start with the truth that hasn't changed, and that is, even with all the new platforms that are popping up everywhere, social media still builds the awareness and the interaction. That's the purpose. And the email builds the relationship. If you are that lucky and like John says, you go viral, we also, like Letitia, want to see exactly what you posted. That is really amazing. So if you are that lucky, then great. Social media can do more than awareness and interaction. It can do sales if you are building it that way. But the truth remains that is the awareness and the interaction stage, and email is going to build the relationship. Your follower count might make you feel really famous right now, but your email list is what's going to convert those followers into finances at the end of the day. So right now in 2025, the average business still earns 37 Rand for every 1 Rand spent when it comes to email marketing. That's according to HubSpot. So it's actual data. And the best return on investment is still your email channels, your email marketing channels, right? It ranks higher than ads, influencers, and the TikTok trends combined. So we're still working with email to help us with the program or to help us to sell. So if you go back to the beginning, I kept talking about the steps. So brand, step 1, marketing and the tools, step 2, and 3, or step 3 would be your sales aspect. Now, if we bring those things all together, I want to help you to build a strategy. Now, up to now, you've built your brand. You've checked that your socials are up to date. Your logo by now is updated. Your brand is displaying differently. In other words, you've played around with different designs. You've played around with different look and feels. If your logo and the way you come across didn't work, then by now it's working and you're using that. So your brand, you can tick yourself. Step 1 is sorted. When we are now building our strategy for 2026, we have to look at things like our socials, which is our tools, and our emails, which is our tools to bring forth step 3, which is going to be our sales. So I want to give you a posting strategy that you can use to bring all these things together. This is also how we do it, and it really works, and it also brings down the workload, and it's more aligned. So the first thing that I would say is start with your email. With email, you are going to tell the full story. Take one subject and tell the full story. With Instagram, that would be the second place that you're going to be posting, Instagram and Facebook. That will be your visual hook. So that's going to look pretty. That's going to attract people. Your third step is going to be, as an example, TikTok. There, you can put a behind the scenes post. And then when it comes to LinkedIn, share your insight with people, all based around the same subject. Because you see, what we do is we want to post so many things and at the same time, but we are posting various um, subjects, if I can say it like that, and we're confusing our audience. But what if you can take one subject and really pull it through? Email, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. I think people will start to get the message. So let's start at point number one. If I say, let's do an email, the first thing you're going to do with email is you need to build your list, because email marketing begins with permission. You don't buy lists, you build communities. That's the difference. Email marketing begins with permission. I don't want you to buy your list. I want you to build your community. So people give their email to you because they believe that you will give them something valuable in return. It could be a free guide, a discount code, an exclusive access. It doesn't matter. We call it a lead magnet. So what is the lead magnet that you can give away? Something of substance, something of value. It's not just about giving away. It's about building that trust that that person says, I'm giving you my email address because I know you're going to be giving me value back. An example of a lead magnet could be a quiz or a template, or like we speak about it today, a playbook. Like give it away to them so that they can use it. It still shows the stat that something that's a quiz or a template that is interactive outperforms a static PDF by about 41%. So if people can interact with what you are giving away of value, that substance, then your value or your return will be so much better. And then just another thing is you build your list. And the second thing is have to segment your list. It's going to help you to put different people into different segments. My company is a great example of that. We do a full marketing solution, but I also consult with businesses. So on the marketing solution, I'm selling PPE, but on the consulting of businesses, I grow businesses by stats, right? I can't now, for the same group of people, send them PPE specials. Those people are going to think that I am confused because none of that fits together. So therefore, I need to segment my list group them basically with the amount of the people so that I get the right information out to the right people. Okay. So that's the first thing. Build your list and make sure it's segmented so that when you send value, you send proper value. That's step one with your email. I want you to design email campaigns that actually convert. The current rule is simple. And for 2026, it's going to be the same. One email, one message. That's the easiest thing to remember. One email, one message. Don't in your one email that you send out to your customers or your people that trusted you with their email address, you send them all your products, all your special, all your buttons are built in there. That's not going to convert. That is confusing. That's not conversion, that's confusion. So the rule is one email, one message. Your reader should know within 3 seconds what you're offering and why it matters. So remember to keep your design mobile first, because 76% of people open your email on their phones. So make sure about that. Think about it like this. This is all behavior-based marketing. One of the things that we can read now, and we've spoken about stats a little bit in the previous sessions, is go and see what type of emails people respond to better. Not necessarily open up, but respond to better. That's definitely going to help you to know what to post next. There are tools on the automation side and the AI side that can help you. Tools like HubSpot and Klaviyo is very nice. Even MailChimp, they predict now the send times for each subscriber, but it is it's expensive, and that's why not all people use it. So try and measure that by seeing who is opening your emails. And then automate your sequence. Go before the time and create a welcome series. Create a free value ad. Engage a series for re-engagement for your inactive subscribers. So go and write the things before. You're not going to just think, today I want to write an email. What is it going to be about? Because that email needs to be an entire campaign. One email, one message, one campaign. And that one campaign needs to have a welcome series. It needs to have your value add, and it needs to have a re-engagement. Can you see why it becomes difficult in today's time to market so many products at the same time? What really works for you? What is your strategy? I spoke yesterday to a client and I was helping them with consulting. They've got a workshop. They service cars and they do many other things. But what I asked them is, what gets the money in the bank? What makes you tick over every single month? And it's like the services. And I said, well, then let's do a campaign just on booking your services, because if that is what makes your business tick, then that is what you should focus on. Then what is the second most important thing that you need to sell? Oh, I need to sell this product. Great. Then we do an entire campaign just about that. But when you start with your email, which is only your step one, you're not going to do the services plus this bumper product plus that 4x4 product. It's one thing per email. That is going to help you to keep the attention of people and to convert, not to confuse. So we wanted to run in such a way that when our emails run when we sleep, our business scales when we rest. We are able to do that when we keep to one message, one email. We have higher open rates. We have higher conversion rates because there is a campaign behind our one product. One campaign, one product. So that will also help you to measure success, because you will see that in 2026, we saw it already 2025. Open rate is great, but what we want is click-through rate. We want engagement per subscriber. Because why do we see that? We saw that because of all the AI robots, and I'm sure you've seen it on accounts in social media as well. That person has got 100,000, sometimes over 1 million subscribers or users or likes or people on their page, depending on what platform you are. But if you go and look at the post at the bottom, they've got 1 or 2 or 3 likes. Why is that? It's because it's AI bots that they purchased. So it looks good, but there's no conversion. That is the reason that open rate and clicks are in 2026 is going to be important, not so important. Because what do we really want? We want the result. So we want to know who of those people that saw our email, that saw our post, actually clicked through, actually clicked the button, actually went to the website, or actually engaged on the post. That's what's going to measure your success in 2026. Of course, we need open rate to be high because it means people saw it, they were interested. But now let's take it a step further and let's measure the click-through rate. Some of the benchmarks this year, and I will put it on the group as well for you guys so that you have it, because its actual stats is going to help you. The average click-through rate is 2.9% across industries. Work that out. For 100 people that has opened your email, only 2.9% was actually clicking through. That's a very low stat. Therefore, we still need the masses and we still need the amount of people so that we can actually have people to click through. Top performers is 5.5%. If your click-through rate was above 5.5%, it means that people love your product or your campaign. Keep doing what you're doing. Your unsubscribe rate should be less than 0.3%. If it is less than, then it means you're doing great. So carry on with what you are doing. Can you see the amounts of people that still needs to go through our channels in order to make a little bit of, or it feels like we're moving the needle? So that's why we need to keep doing what we're doing. It would be very interesting, John, to see based on these stats. That's why I will post it. Send it back to your team and then try and work out your click-through rate based on what you've gotten now for this reel. So try and figure that out. So it's important to understand that the foundation is email marketing. From there, we post everywhere else. Okay. But the truth is that your customer doesn't experience your brand in silos in the same way that we separate for ourselves at work. They might see an Instagram post and they might click the link in your bio. They might land on your website. They might download a guide, and they might get your email. But if we create this continuous story, because stories was the big word in 2025, carrying on in 2026. So we need to create and take them create the storyline and then take them with us throughout the story. And that's what this formula is going to help you with. If you go on email and then you go to Meta, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, those places, and LinkedIn, it's going to help you to take them along the journey with you. Okay. Think about this. This is ridiculous, but the average person switches between 6 different platforms every single day. 6 different platforms every single day. And what do most people do? They post the same content on all 6 platforms. So what happens? They forget you because they scroll through. But if you can use, like I was saying in the beginning, email tells the full story. Instagram and Facebook is the visual hook. Your TikTok is behind the scenes. It's just examples how you can use it. And LinkedIn, you give them the insight. Each one of those has one campaign and one story, one campaign, but you place it in different ways. So you segment it on different platforms in different ways. That's going to really make a difference for you. Because what do we do? Even if you followed somewhat of the same strategy this year, on email, we would have said, if it's a product line, we would have said, meet our new collection. Then on Instagram, our caption would say, fresh drops are here. And then on LinkedIn, we would have said innovation and design. Same product, but we're confusing them because it's the same campaign, but there's 3 voices, and confusion kills conversion. Remember, that's what I said. We need to make sure we want conversion, not confusion. So now, because we're not doing the same thing across all platforms, we are missing our customer. They're not converting because they're forgetting us. They think it's the same thing. So 6 different platforms a day, the average person. I'm one of them. I realize that because I have to go into Instagram and see what's happened there. Then I go to LinkedIn. Very few times I go to TikTok, to be very honest. And then Meta, and I go to some of the other platforms as well. Substack for me is also very big. So that's 6 platforms for myself already. It's easy to go between them. So think about this. If your message has to have one campaign, one message across all the platforms that you are using. Use email for your full story. Use Meta and Instagram, or Meta, Instagram and Facebook. Use that for the visual side of things. Make it pretty, make it attractive. Let people click because it looks nice. On TikTok, share your reels, behind the scenes content. Let them connect with you as a person. And then LinkedIn, be that industry expert. I know it can't work like that 100%, but I'm sure with your strategy, you can adapt it like that. Because what are we creating? We are creating content synergy. We want the content to talk to your reader, talk to your follower, talk to your customer, talk to your client throughout all the different platforms that they are going across every single day. Of course, you can cross-promote, but do it strategically. Use your socials to grow your email list, and use your email to drive your social engagement. That's what I mean with cross-promoting. So use your socials to grow your email list, and use your socials to drive people back to your email. That's what cross-promoting is. I like doing that. On my socials, I send people to my email list, and then I speak about my podcast. Or I send them from socials to my podcast, which is also Substack. So actually, they're forming part of my email list. That is cross-promotion. So how can you cross-promote? What are some of the things that are working right now? You can, on your website, let's go back to the things I'm thinking now. We're doing websites on Friday, is add a newsletter sign-up button on your website. Add it on your Facebook. Add it on your Instagram profiles. Maybe we love to use Linktree. Maybe you don't have a Linktree account yet. Set up a Linktree account where people can easily sign up to your newsletter, follow you on Facebook, follow you on Instagram, and have that Linktree account all over. Like you can have it in your emails, you can have it in your social profiles, you can have it wherever. Cross promote strategically. A nice thing that you can do as well is that I also like doing is short video teasers. Put that in your email content for your reels and for TikTok. And if you want the full guide, then it's in our newsletter this week or next week. So keep following, So drop little teasers for people to want to be part of what you are sharing. You can, in every single email that you're sending, you can embed buttons into it. For that campaign, let them access, let them pay, sign up, book now. There's various buttons that you can put into each of your emails. And they can access your content from there. They can pay, they can book, they can do whatever, just through buttons. Make it simple for them. You guys know I've said it a few times already because it's absolutely my favorite campaign. Amazon, click, ding dong. It needs to be that simple. I click once or twice and then it gets delivered. So that is what we want. We want to create that same seamless experience for our customers, and we are able to do it with the tools that we have today. And of course, we need to measure it. We need to measure it so that we can refine it across the platforms. I always think of data as the heartbeat of integration. Data is the heartbeat of integration. We use the data so that we can integrate, so we can refine, so that we can measure what works, what doesn't work. Remember to track your KPIs. You can check how people are moving from one channel to the other. That's probably one of my favorite things. When I see them, I can see that they've opened and they've read the email. Sometimes they book straight from there, so I can see that they're converted instantly. Other times I'll see somebody reading an email and then I'll have a new follow on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, they are more interested now. Other times they go from my email straight to my website and they fill in a form there, or they just read for very long on a page, means they are interested. Other times from social, they go to my website and I can monitor it there. I monitor my cross-channel conversion rate for myself as well, so that I can see how long does it take for somebody to convert. Remember, I spoke about the difference of a funnel and the flywheel, right? So in a funnel, 1 or 2 people fall through every now and then. With a wheel, you have momentum throughout the time. And even if things go wrong, you might go a little bit slower, but people still keep coming on. I like to call that process the test, track, and tweak process. The test, track, and tweak process. First, I test my campaign. Does it work? Then I track it, and then I make tweaks where I need to make a tweak. Can you see why now it's actually quite impossible to run a campaign 3 weeks or even a month before you launch something or you are in it? You need to do it months before the time. I used to call it a drip campaign, like water that's dripping, a drip campaign, because you're slowly feeding people something you want to do in the next 3 to 6 months. You test it, you track it, then you tweak it, and then you go back, you test it, you track it, and then you tweak it. That's what we call modern marketing today. We have to have our creative ideas backed up by the data. That's how we're going to do it today, or in today's time. And for 2026, that's going to be your key thing that you need to understand. So let me bring this home. Email marketing is your most profitable relationship tool. Email marketing is your most profitable relationship tool. Social media is your most powerful reach tool. When you connect them, you're going to create momentum in that wheel of yours. Then data becomes your next marketing decision. So your data is going to help you to make that marketing decision. So think about it this way. Your email is your handshake. Your social media is your megaphone that you're going to be using. So email is that handshake relationship. Social media is the megaphone. That's where people are going to hear you. That's where you're going to blast it out. That's where 850,000 people are going to see you, John, with social media. That's your megaphone. Email's your handshake. When you use both of those things intentionally, you don't just get seen. You're going to get remembered. So I want you to use this strategy for yourself for 2026. Start with your emails. Write the full story. Then use your Instagram, Meta, and TikTok. Use your visual hooks, behind the scene content. Add value to them through carousels, still posts. Send them back to your website. Send them back to your email. Recirculate your information and use your LinkedIn for your insight posts where you can add value.
That is awesome. And have you been able to implement some of the aspects and also the things that if you have implemented those, how has that made a difference to your experience and also your storefronts?
So yes, I have implemented some things. Some things Dr. Janine has shown me, so that I implemented straight out. And then the other thing is my go-to-market strategy. How am I going to go forward from here? So there was a lot to think about, and I'm actually starting another leg of my business. I have been in the IT field all my life, but I moved out to specialize in certain areas, and now I want to move back into the IT field. So yeah, this has given me a lot to think about and a lot to work with. So yeah, starting up and going up to leading up to the end of the year, I'm putting together my business plan for my IT division, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
Before we go any further, a little insider moment. If you are hearing this, it means you are part of my community, and that matters. The Marketing Cosmetics flagship program sells for 32,000 Rand. But because you're already on my email list, you qualify for exclusive intentional access pricing. And that is 14,000 Rand for the full 3-month program. If you are already enrolled, you get insider access, which means anyone you personally bring into the February intake can also join at 14,000 instead of the standard 32,000. This is my way of saying thank you for being part of the ecosystem we are building, and that rewards loyalty, leadership, and foresight. Because you didn't just follow the brand, you belonged before it became a trend. I want to say thank you.